Greetings, one and all, and welcome to episode 10 of our Skylight Social series. We hope you and yours are well during these challenging times. Tonight, I'm very excited to be joined by 7 of the 21 fabulous performers who will be a part of Skylight's upcoming virtual concert, Skylight Sings, a Holiday Special. It starts airing this Friday, December 11th, and is available through January 10th. For tickets and more information, please visit our website, as always, www.skylightmusictheater.org, that's theatre.org, where you will find some other fine online offerings as well. Our holiday special is a delicious concoction of holiday songs, some traditional, some untraditional, some show tunes, and tons of fun as we celebrate not only the holiday season, but also the beauty of our beloved home, the Cabot Theater. We will also sprinkle in some of our performers' favorite holiday memories as we chat by a virtual fireside. Let's take a look.
Oh, we're staying at home for the holidays, 'cause the COVID just will not let us roam.
If you yearn to return to the theater, you have got to wait, 'cause now you're stuck at home. I met a man who lives in Milwaukee,
And he was heading for
another part of Milwaukee for brats and beer.
if you want to stay healthy in a million ways.
For the holidays you can't beat home sweet home. For the holidays you can't beat home sweet home.
Our first guest in this wonderful collection of characters is Andrew Varela, familiar face. Hey, Andrew, how are you?
Hey, Michael, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, pleasure always. Welcome to the show. Next, we have Liz Norton. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Andrew.
Hi,
Welcome.
Liz.
It's great to be here.
Raina Roman.
Hello.
Ray Jivoff.
Hi.
John Holmes.
Hello.
Ryan Kappelman, and Dolly the Dancing Dog.
Come and get it, Dolly. Come on.
Very good.
Good dog.
And Raven Dockery. How are you, Raven?
I'm great. How are you all?
Good. It's so nice to see you all. And we're hosting kind of an online party that you're all witness to, because we're all going to hang out in this chat for a bit. So thank you so much for participating in this concert. We're very excited about it. It's been a very challenging time since March, and we all want to be back on stage and do what we do, and we're not able to do that in the way we normally do it. So we've had to find out creative ways to do it by some other method, and we've found video to be, I guess, the method of the moment. So I'd love to get input from you all about how it felt to be back on that stage after so much time. Andrew, would you mind starting us off on that?
Well, it was incredible, because I didn't know how different it would feel until I was actually on the stage again, and to be out there and to see that space that I've seen so many times before, but having not been there for months, and the blue that you guys have lit so beautifully in there, even the house of the Cabot is so beautiful now. It really did take me back to some really wonderful times there, and it was great to be there. Such a lovely place.
You remember that one?
I do remember that one. All those guys, we had a good time. It was a lot of fun, and it was a great show. We had a good time.
Great. Liz, what was it like for you to be back on that stage?
Well, Michael, for me, it was incredibly special. I've not been on that stage for 5 years, so it was incredibly special just to walk back in the building, let alone the stage. And when I did get out on the stage, it was a little alarming not to have an audience, a real audience. But once I got going, the memories came flooding back into my mind.
Whoops! I pushed the wrong button. I meant to push this button.
Enough of you.
There.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you
well,
are.
that memory is actually from under the stage because, right, the lift was bringing me up at this point of the show, and boy, the adrenaline that was going on right before that scene it's not even explainable. It was incredible, and I will never forget that as long as I live. But being back in that building was such a thrill. Thank you for allowing it to happen. It was a lot of fun.
Let's get you back on stage. All right,
Thank you.
Karina, what was it like for you?
Hi. I mean, every time stepping out on that stage is magical. In my humble opinion, it's the most beautiful space in town to both see a show and do a show. Because every single company does a gorgeous job with incredible designers of reinventing spaces over and over again. So when you're sitting in the audience, you can be transported, but the view as a performer from the stage, the Cabot Theater is just so positively gorgeous, front and back, ceiling, good God, the ceiling to floor. Yeah, it's just so beautiful.
One of the main goals of this concert was to actually celebrate the beauty of the Cabot. So you'll see the concert does not just happen on stage, it happens sort of all over the space. So we were sort of happy to be able to do that. Ray, how about you?
Oh, it was just wonderful to be back, and wonderful to be back and not be in charge. Thank you. But I do love that space, and it did hit me to be out there and performing and really miss the audience. Really was thinking a lot about all those wonderful patrons that have come to the Skylight for so many years, and thought about them and missed them quite a bit that afternoon when we were taping that number. Yep.
Does this ring a bell?
You look good as a blonde, Ray.
That was the most interesting production of Annie ever.
We redefined hard knock life, that's for sure.
Is Ryan over your shoulder there?
Who?
Is that Ryan over your shoulder?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do show it again, show it again.
Yes.
It is. Yes.
Ryan photobombed me a couple of these pictures. He photobombed on Andrew's also. Okay, Sean, how about you, sir?
Well, it was a surreal moment being back on stage, waiting in the wagon house area where everybody else was waiting, spaced out 6 feet apart. It was a surreal moment. It took me back to my very first performance, Porgy and Bess, many moons ago. Walking out on that stage, just seeing everything there, being in that space, being surrounded by people like David Bonifilio, Ding, and just like Raina said, the space is beautiful. And once you're in there, it's a surreal moment, especially for this time.
Dave Bonifilio was our music director, and Ding obviously on percussion and toys and everything. What was this from, Sean?
Five Guys Named Mo.
Oh, that's such a great shot. Oh my God.
Sean, is that you?
I mean, I can still do that, I think.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Okay, Ryan.
That was a good show.
Ryan and Dolly, talk about your experience. And Dolly, we definitely want to hear from you as well.
She's currently sitting underneath me right now.
Okay.
She's under the piano bench.
She's in a trailer.
She got a little camp. For me, it's all about creating new memories. I got to go up in the rehearsal hall and work on my number, and I brought Dolly there right before we filmed, and just getting to play with her up there. Like I live in a pretty small apartment, so we don't really have a lot of room to play around, but to get to play with her in the rehearsal hall was a lot of fun. And another fond memory for me is working with kids, and I've gotten to do that so many times at Skylight. And this actually just arrived in the mail for me today and brought back a lot of memories. It's an Edna ornament from Hairspray.
Oh.
So that brought back fond memories of all the Hairspray kids, that wonderful show. So.
Good. And what's this wonderful show? It was a wonderful show.
Oh, that's Carmina Burana.
Mhm.
Oh, God.
Back when I was in shape.
Raina, how about you? Sorry, Raven. I'm sorry. We just talked about how until tonight. For not signing me up for that.
Like, we did, switched up all the time. That's fine. I take it as a compliment, though.
It's the hair.
It is the hair. For me, it's all about the lights. I love the lights in that space in the cabin. And I'll never forget the first time I performed on the cabin stage, which was a season announcement show. And I had to sing Aquarius and Let the Sun Shine In. And Tommy Hahn was standing beside me and telling me to look at all the pretty lights and like just get used to that feeling of having all those lights just on you. And so like me practicing my song in my little apartment, I had one focal point. And then when I got out on the space, I'm like, oh my God, these lights are so beautiful. How can I forget? So I was just staring off into like all of these beautiful lights left and right in the front. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Never gets old. Yes, Lord and brother.
So we also shot this concert observing, of course, physical distancing, and there are many numbers that have more than one person, and we shot them individually, and then Ryan Rossman, who's our video producer and editor, has been editing them together very cleverly. So here's an example of one of the songs where in the concert you're going to see these three ladies together all the time. But just to show you how we actually created the footage, you'll see a little behind the scenes trickery here.
Nobody likes a fruitcake, whoop-de-I-A. Nobody likes a fruitcake, they just give us away.
The Dawsons got me as a gift and gave me to the Glicks.
I've been passed from house to house since 1996. Everybody loves to eat fruit. Everybody loves to eat cake. So why is putting them together such a horrible mistake?
So, it's a trickery, but again, when you see it, it'll look like they're all doing a trio all in the same place, but they weren't. And another thing that Raina mentioned, how beautiful it is to stand on that stage and look into the house, and that's a perspective that the audience does not often get. And in this concert, you're going to get that perspective. In fact, here's an example of that with a fabulous quartet. They were at the same time, but they were spaced way apart. Here is Seven Principles.
All that we touch is more beautiful, Imani. We believe that we can. We know that we can. We will anyway. That we can.
Stop!
Oh, it looks great. Sounds fantastic. Oh,
This is the first time.
Shoes, I would throw it.
This is the first time these people are seeing these
It
videos.
would be
so
this big.
there's a lot more where that came from.
So cool.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. So anyway, that's an example. So I want to go back and talk to each of you again, starting with Andrew again, about the song you sang and what that meant to you, and then we'll show a little clip of the song.
Well, I sang a simple song from Bernstein's Mass. I learned it about a year or two ago for another concert that I did, and I loved it. I just thought it was so beautiful, and I had the opportunity to do it with a fine guitarist and a flautist that I knew from the last concert, And so I was really excited to reimagine it, because I had originally done it with piano and flute, and I brought guitar in, and so it's a wonderful, wonderful song by Leonard Bernstein, and I'm really happy that we were able to do it again here for Skylight.
Yeah. Can I see a show of hands of kids who in like 5th grade or middle school would listen to the album of Mass obsessively?
Yeah,
What?
no.
I did. I literally did. I love that. My parents had it,
Yeah.
and I just this song especially just transported me. I could not get enough of it. So I'm so glad that Andrew is giving us a little bit of that here. Here you go.
I will sing the Lord a new song, to praise him, to bless the Lord. I will sing his praises while I live, all of my days.
Sing, Andrew.
We're only giving you a little piece, but if you want the whole thing, you gotta pay for
First take is free.
Oh, real cute. That was real cute.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Another thing we did was upstairs in the bar bistro. Each person that performed sat with me, and talked about a favorite holiday memory. So here I am interviewing Samantha Sosterich, but in truth,
Yes.
we were not there at the same time. We shot one first, and then we shot me, and then we put them together. So again, being
Pretty
very
high tech.
careful, socially distant, but using lots of
Trickery.
So
Pure trickery.
So Andrew, do you want to share a holiday memory with us?
Well, I actually do. I actually have two, but one of them is Susan and I were doing Les Mis here. It was our first year at Skylight, and we were coming to a show, but it was snowing pretty badly, and there was the roads were messed up, which is unusual for Wisconsin. We have the finest snow removal system. And so we drove over there, and we were calling ahead saying we're going to be late. And when we got there at 15 minutes to curtain, Ray Jivoff was standing under the marquee. Yeah, and he leapt into our car and drove it to park it for us while we went inside to go do the show. I remember that. You still have not paid me for that dent I found in it afterward. But another memory that I had was that during Annie, which was wonderful. But at the end of the show, when we're singing, it's going to be a new deal for Christmas this year. When we're talking with the kids are on stage and everything, I always used to take a moment to look out in the house at the kids that were seeing a show, a Christmas show. And we had a big Christmas tree on stage and a dog, and we had presents and children. And I always used to register the looks of wonderment on the kids' faces during that number. And it always reminded me to be grateful that I get to do what I do, and that we get to share that kind of magic. And especially with children who just you might be changing the direction of their life if you affect them like that. So I always try to take some time to remind myself to be grateful, and when there are children in the house, that's just so much easier, because they're so pure and so sweet out there that it's really a wonderful thing to be able to share that.
Great, thank you. That's 2 memories for the price of 1 from Andrew Varela.
There you go. I always over-deliver.
So Liz Norton, tell us about your song, a familiar song, but many of the songs that may seem familiar are a little bit different in our...
Are a little bit different, yeah. And we came to this song very, very interestingly, because Susan Varela had contacted me and said, what song would you be interested in singing? And I said, Oh, Holy Night, for sure. Well, someone else had already taken that song. So then I thought, I really want to do something legit. Ave Maria, perhaps. And Susan said, well, how about something fun and snappy? And I immediately thought of my grandkids. I have a granddaughter and a grandson. And I said, Rudolph? And she said, yes, perfect. Okay, see you later. So I put my thinking cap on, and I know you can do anything you want to a song. You can jazzify it. You can jazzify any song, Michael, and it will come off okay. So I decided to do a jazzed up version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and with David Bonifiglio with the keys, I think we did okay.
Okay.
I agree. And here's proof.
This one's for the kiddos. You know Dasher and Dancer and a Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows.
Diva.
I'm surprised that there wasn't a cocktail on stage with you at that one. For that one, you needed a cocktail for the song, maybe a cigarette.
We talked about that. Susan and I talked about an Elaine Stritch. What did she say? What did she drink all the time?
Everything. You could have done it with wassail or some appropriately festive Christmas drink. That would have worked.
Some eggnog, not good for the vocal cords, though.
Well.
Props to the band. Props to the band. Dave Bonifiglio, Michael Ding Lorenz, and Michael Ritter.
Yes.
They're always great. They're money in the bank, those guys.
I mean, yeah, 2 takes and it was done. So yeah, they made it all so easy. And I already knew the lyrics. So
well, you're halfway there.
That's right.
Share with the folks, if you don't mind.
And you want a different memory from what we shared prior, right, Michael?
Oh, do I? It's so nice. It's a spoiler, folks.
It's a spoiler. Yeah. Well, my childhood memory is of Christmas Eve, 1966. And my siblings and I were sitting around waiting for the next morning, excited about what Santa would bring. And the doorbell rings. And we run out to the front door and run out to the front porch in the middle of winter. And there, underneath a big red bow, was a 1966 Sears silver tone dual dynamic sound turntable. Record player. So my dad whisks it up, brings it inside. We all gather around the kitchen table, and he pulls out 3 new Christmas albums: Bing Crosby's White Christmas, Andy Williams' Merry Christmas, I think, and then Dean Martin's, I think his was Merry Christmas too. And all night, side A, side B, we listened to these cats sing away. And I do think, this is where I get a little emotional. I do think that was the start of my absolute devotion to music. And that memory comes clearly into mind every single Christmas. I always bug my siblings about it. No one remembers it like I do. But it was, I get shivers when I have a picture of it, actually. I'm sitting on my dad's lap. My dad has a cocktail on his hand. He probably was feeling very much like Bing Crosby. I don't know.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
But I have this picture that is so dear to me. And I actually have a picture of the turntable too. I should share with y'all sometimes.
I'm surprised you don't have it. We need to see this.
Yeah, I'll pull it up someday.
Some of the millennials are probably wondering what that is.
Are you wondering? Hey, you can Google the Sears Christmas catalog all the way back to 1945. It's all online.
Oh.
I can go to the page that my mom probably bought it at the Sears catalog. She loved Sears, you could get anything you needed in that catalog.
If only there was something like that now.
I had a vet once. I had a vet once that said if she couldn't get it in the Sears catalog or at Farm and Fleet, then she didn't need it.
Nope, wasn't necessary.
Raina, let's talk about the fabulous song that you sang.
I picked a song called Noel by Lauren Daigle. And actually, I think it's written by Chris Tomlin, performed by Lauren Daigle. And I just discovered her, within the last few months, and was just enthralled with her style and her voice. And I think what I like most about it is that, I don't know, for me, it's the part where she sings, "Come and see what God has done." And in the middle of all of this multifaceted storm that we're all going through, one of the really positive takeaways is how much we are forced to be present in the moment and be grateful for the good that has come, not necessarily out of this, but despite this. Just being able to be focused on what is right in front of our faces in a way that we maybe weren't able to before when we were so blessedly busy.
What a beautiful intro to this song. So get your shoes ready. Let me see a show of hands of people who love amazing women who can belt like that.
Thank you.
And Doris, you have a memory to share with us too?
Yeah. So one of my favorite things on Christmas Eve at the church that I grew up in and that my parents still attend, on Christmas Eve, they do an 11 p.m. service that ends with Silent Night. And so the whole sanctuary is singing a cappella by candlelight. And my mom is a singer, so all of the musical gifts that are in my family come from her. And so it's a time where I am standing shoulder to shoulder with my mom. And when all of the music drops out and we're all singing a cappella, my mom is singing the soprano and I'm singing the alto. And so we're just in a room harmonizing together by candlelight. And it's just one of my favorite days of any year.
Fantastic. Great. So we hope that this concert might help stir up some beautiful holiday memories for you, your families, and that you can share and pass down, and make sure we don't forget those moments that make us who we are. So as soon as I as soon as we came up with the idea to do this concert, I knew I needed something very dramatic to anchor it. And the first person I thought of when I was trying to find that really powerful, dramatic song was Ray Jivoff, of course.
Yeah.
So, Ray, you want to talk about the song you sang?
Yes, my really dramatic, powerful, spiritual, really. This being the season when we celebrate all those religions coming together. I sang a song called "My Birthday Comes on Christmas." Which is a Spike Jones song, and it is from the holiday version of Things That Go Ding that I did with Mike Lorenz and Jack Wilson up in the bar. That was the third incarnation of Things That Go Ding. We did it once in the bar, and then we did it in the studio, and then we did Things That Go Ding Dong Merrily on High in the bar again, and then we did it on the Cabot stage. But it's a Spike Jones song, which is really an inspiration for Ding, doing really wacky arrangements and using the full range of percussion stuff. And naturally, Ding loves to make me dress up in ridiculous costumes, and I'm amenable to that. So in that show, I came out first as a turkey, Not with
Typecasting.
feathers, but the turkey, like just ready to be put into the oven. Shut up, Raina. And the abominable snowman. And for this song,
But don't give it away. Don't give it away.
I'm wearing another funny costume. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I got a drum, I got a horn. They gave me a bicycle just for being born. But I'm only getting half of what I oughta, 'cause my birthday comes on Christmas.
Laughs. I do see it in the original Italian, the second verse. So.
Nice.
And Ray, would you share a holiday memory with us?
Are we trying to do one different than the one I did in the
Whatever.
You know, I was thinking again. You know, I really did do a lot of holiday shows at the Skylight. You know, getting ready for this, I think it was 12 holiday shows, and one of the ones that is dearest to both my heart and my partner Michael's heart is Guys and Dolls, which was the one show that we did together at Skylight. And I played Nathan Detroit and he was Benny South Street. But it was the first time we'd done a show together. And back then my parents were still traveling. And they had a tradition of bringing one of their grandchildren to Milwaukee to see me in a show and take a special trip with one of their grandkids. So they came, and then Michael's parents came at the same time. And we'd been together for 15 years or so, and it was the first time our parents had met. And that was a really wonderful event for us, both for our little family and to celebrate the holidays at Skylight. And after the show, my parents and his parents were up in the bar, and the whole cast came up. And it really, I know that it had it affected especially the gay people in the cast and on the crew, to be able to come and see. It was sort of like a little wedding reception that was happening up in the Skylight bar for Michael and I. That was a really special holiday memory for us at the Skylight.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that.
Beautiful.
Thanks for sharing that. That's terrific.
Love you.
Sean, you're up next.
Hi.
Talk about your fab song that you sang.
So the song that I chose to sing was the Christmas song, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. It is my absolute favorite Christmas song ever. I think one of the versions that I love to hear is actually from Toni Braxton. She did like this slower, chill version. Piano, guitar, drums, literally what the setup that we had for ours. So
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos.
Oh. I would buy that. I would buy that, Sean Holmes.
I was just thinking that. I would have that. I would like that playing in my house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll make a CD.
Come on, I'm ready.
An 8-track. 8-track would be great.
You can play it on your record player, Liz.
Bring it.
Oh,
I hope you don't
Put it
mind
on vinyl.
if I share with people that you are an emergency room worker on the front lines,
yes.
have been this entire pandemic. So I just have such respect for you. And you're also an amazing singer-actor who performs constantly. I don't know when you sleep, but thank you.
Never.
What sleep?
Have amazing amounts of respect for you and what you do. So thank you.
No, thank you.
And you got a holiday memory to share with us?
Yes, actually, one of my favorite holiday memories comes from actually doing holiday shows at Skylight. There's a small tradition of doing a gift exchange, a Santa exchange that we do for every holiday show. And the most recent one was last year during Newsies. and I didn't know who my Secret Santa was during the whole time. I was like, who? Does anybody know who it is? And I was like, no. So the last week of Newsies, they usually do a big reveal, like maybe that Sunday show, but that Saturday, my Secret Santa decided to give the gift on stage during the curtain call of the final bow, which was the lead of Jack Kelly. So the big reveal, the curtain went up, and then he walks out and he just turns to me. He's like, "Merry Christmas." I'm like, oh! Lost it. I lost it. It was great. And then, yeah. So it just reminded me of those times where the cast bonded tightly together. So yeah, it was a good memory for that.
Yeah.
That was a huge cast too.
It was a huge cast.
No.
What a show.
So Ray had mentioned, no, you can. I understand the camera's out, you know.
Yeah, right.
First, when we started, I had to close the door because Michael's in the other room. He's actually listening to this, and it was too loud. And now I got to plug it in because I can't hit the battery.
Ray mentioned.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Ray mentioned Ding, who's our house percussionist, our orchestra contractor, our percussionist. He's just so many wonderful things. And I love the number that he did. And I'm not going to say anything about it other than watch this.
Yeah.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yes.
You know, you should hear his black hole sun on toilet seats that he does. It's amazing.
Raise your hand if you know another taxi horn virtuoso besides Ding Lorenz. Okay.
One of a kind.
Dolly. Show some respect, Dolly.
She's very vocal tonight, so I've had to stay on
Dolly,
mute.
can you tell us about your number that you performed?
You want to tell them about the number?
She wants to tell you about that cookie.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe Ryan, you could interpret, translate for us.
So Susan asked me to do the show, and we were brainstorming some ideas, and she said, we want Dolly to be incorporated somehow. And I was like, okay. I don't know how to do that. I mean, she's cute as a button, but so I pitched some ideas of things, and I've like stuff that I've done in the past, and was trying to find ways to fit a dog into it. So I have this beautiful medley of Fields of Gold and Silver and Gold and Nature's First Green is Gold. And it's just very emotional. I was like, well, how can I put Dolly into that? It's not going to work. So another idea I had was, well, White Christmas is one of my absolute favorite Christmas movies. I watch it every year, either while I'm decorating or while I'm wrapping presents. And I was like, well, I could dance with Dolly. And Susan was like, we love that idea. And I was like, I don't know how to choreograph
And yet you did.
You do now.
But she was great. She nailed all of her takes better than her dad. Her dad was a little out of shape from he hasn't danced much in this pandemic, and but she was fantastic. There's even a whole shot where she's just smiling the entire time.
Roll tape.
The best thing happen while you're dancing. Things that you would not do at home come naturally on the floor.
Now, this concert has many, many, many wonderful moments that are well worth paying for. But I would say the price of admission is
It's
worth
right there.
just Dolly take to the audience on the button of the number.
Oh,
Insane! It is so like just dead on. So thank you, Dolly. And thank you.
And
You want to share a memory with us, Ryan?
Oh yeah. So I've been lucky to be on stage, below the stage in the pit, and to be behind the stage choreographing so many shows at Skylight. And I've gotten to work with a lot of dogs at Skylight.
There it is.
But just I'm such a dog lover. I grew up with a dog my entire life, and then from 18 to 31 I did not have a dog of my own in my life, and so this pandemic has actually brought Dolly into my life, and she's one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me. But I remember Wizard of Oz, we had two beautiful dogs, Hilly and Snowy, that alternated as Toto. In Annie, we had Shiloh and Skippy, who were just both brilliant. You could tell when they did something cute. Like being in the pit, you can't see the audience, but you can hear their reactions. And so anytime like Shiloh like rolled over and did one of these on stage, like the audience just lost it. But Michael, I've actually come up with some ideas for you to program into future seasons to incorporate more dogs.
Great. Let's hear it. Let's hear
I
'em.
think we could program Tales of Ruffman, My Furry Lady, Things That Go Bark, Sunday in the Bark with George, Hair, You're in Town, and of course, starring my dog, Hello Dolly.
Hello, Dolly.
Yes. I'll get right on that with a repertoire committee, okay? Thank you. Okay, Raven.
Hello. I'm great.
Ladies who can belt, can you tell us about the song you sang?
Well, this song is called Please Come Home for Christmas, and it's written by Charles Brown. But the first time I heard it was on the Kelly Clarkson Christmas album, Wrapped in Red. And I love Kelly Clarkson's voice, and I was like, I have to sing this song. And I sang it 2 years ago for a holiday concert that I did at somebody's house in Mequon. And it was a showstopper. And I was like, well, I want to sing because I too wanted to sing Oh Holy Night, Liz.
Darn Ben.
Who ended up doing it?
It's appropriate. It's appropriate.
Yeah.
It is. But I decided, I was like, you know what? If I can't sing that one, I'm going to sing Please Come Home for Christmas. And it's about just being with your loved ones around the holidays, and you know, everybody's doing so many holiday things, but the only thing you care about is being around your loved one and hoping that they come home for Christmas.
All right. Here we go. Thanks, Raven.
Friends and relations send salutations, just as sure as the stars shine above. Baby, this is Christmas, Christmas, my dear, the time of year to be with the ones you love. Then will you tell me you'll never more roam?
Wow. Hollering. Yeah.
Beautiful. For sure.
I was singing, Sean. What are you talking about?
All right,
Maybe the dog.
Holiday memory. So for me, I did Black Nativity 2 years in a row with Black Arts in KE. And that's always a fun experience because there's so many talented Black artists in this city. And the audience loves that show. There's like chances for them to participate and sing along with us. So it's a very energetic show, and it's just a beautiful story about the birth of Jesus Christ. So yeah, that's one of my favorite holiday shows to be a part of.
So I would say that in this concert, we've represented many holidays, Christmas, obviously, Hanukkah's represented for sure. We have put our own spin on the dreidel song. Thanks to my, see what I did there? Spin.
We caught it. We caught it.
So if you've never dreamt of a mashup between a song from Little Shop of Horrors and I Have a Little Dreidel, this is your chance to see that. And Kwanzaa is also represented with that beautiful 7 principles that we showed earlier. So thank you, artists. There are 21 total artists in this concert. It's a wonderful evening. Lots of beautiful music, lots of laughs, lots of memories, lots of warm holiday cheer. And it's not our first choice to be doing this by video, but it is definitely the next best thing to being there. So go to the website, www.skylightmusictheater.org to get tickets. You can also buy gift certificates. Gift certificates is a great stocking stuffer. If you haven't quite thought of what to get that loved one, tickets and gift certificates to Skylight is always a great thing. We promise you we'll be back to normal when we can be. We've got a lot of virtual offerings coming up in the spring and next year. So stay with us. We can't wait to have you back. I'm going to go out with rolling the promo again, just so you can sort of get a taste of the whole show. Thanks everyone for coming. Stay well, stay safe, stay sound. Happy holidays, and good night, everybody.
Oh, we're staying at home for the holidays, 'cause the COVID just will not let us roam.
If you yearn to return to the theater, you have got to wait, 'cause now you're stuck at home.
I met a man who lives in Milwaukee,
And he was heading for
another part of Milwaukee for brats and beer.
If you want to stay healthy in a million ways,